You know, guys, before I start today's video, I just need to say thank you to every single one of you, because if you haven't seen yet, the Scat Master himself has finally hit 15,000 subscribers, which is an absurd amount of people. I can't even imagine how many people is 15,000 people, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is an insane amount of people, so thank you guys so much for all of that. And as per usual, with every major milestone, we are doing something special on the channel. I have a Q&A going up on either Friday or Saturday, and if you haven't seen it yet, head over to my community tab on my channel. I put a post there where you guys can put in your questions, and so far there's a lot of people, but I want to see more, I'm not gonna lie. Just ask away, ask whatever you want. And likely I won't be able to get through all of the questions, but I just want to see a shit ton of questions, guys. And once again, thank you guys so much for over 15,000 subscribers, and we're only going up from here, you know? But guys, you want to know something that's not going up from here? Modern Warfare 2019 Part 3. That's right, guys. In the last few videos, we've been talking a lot about Activision, and honestly, I'm just kind of tired talking about them, so let's get back on track with Modern Warfare 2019 Part 3, guys. And as per usual, there are some tweets I need to dissect regarding Modern Warfare 2019 Part 3, coming from some fucking gooch lickers. I mean, what's new, guys? And you know what? Before I get into that, I know what the criticism is here, guys. Oh, Fooly, you're being repetitive once again. Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, it's the community that likes seasonal content. And you know what comes with seasonal content? Seasonal creativity, because when we're in these downtimes and these little droughts, there is literally fucking nothing going on in the scene. Other than Activision fucking demolishing the community, of course, but today we're talking about MW 2019 Part 3, guys, and let me just tell you, no matter what you're hearing online from gooch lickers, from fans, from some of these content creators and some of these bigger platforms that we'll talk about in a second, this next game is not anything to be hyped up about. You shouldn't put your faith in Sledgehammer Games or Activision, and for the love of God, if I hear this from anybody ever again, I'm gonna fucking lose it. MW 2019 Part 3 will not save Call of Duty. By the way, if you think it's saving Call of Duty, you're implying that these recent titles have driven the franchise into the dirt. And of course, you go check out my recent videos, you'll hear every single reason as to why this next game is about to be an utter failure. But guys, it gets deeper than that, because even with all of that said, which by the way, all of it is common sense and not surprising in the slightest, there are still people who some way, somehow put their faith in Sledgehammer Games of all developers. And some way, somehow, they're thinking to themselves, you know what, Vanguard sucked. MW2 is god-awful. This next game, which is probably just gonna be a combination of those two games, somehow is gonna be good? I just don't understand the logic here. But nonetheless, guys, as always, we have some gooch-licking content creators and platforms just regurgitating the same fake hype that we see every single year, and unfortunately, it just seems like we haven't learned our lesson yet. And of course, to kick this one off, guys, this comes from Charlie Intel. Who else, guys? Who else? He tweets out whenever all of the MW3 news started coming out and all the leaks and rumors came out. He said, "I know people will screenshot this tweet, but I have faith in Sledgehammer Games." Guys, at this point, this is just a mental illness, okay? Like, I need to get Charlie Intel out of the gulag and into the psych ward, because this is one of those unacceptable tweets that we have seen every single year, and every single time it's tweeted, disaster occurs immediately after. He tweeted this out, and a few days later, SM2 got clapped, okay? Like, it's not a coincidence. But wait, guys, there is more. This comes from the MW2 Ghost. He says, "I will not get hyped for the next COD. I will not get hyped for the next COD. I will not get hyped for the next COD times like a million." Oh god, you know, I wish I could stop here, but it doesn't end, guys. It really doesn't. The Ghost of Hope tweeted this out like a week and a half ago. He says, "I think Sledgehammer will surprise people this year," with a picture of fucking Jev. And then Doug Dimmadome Warzone replies saying, "I do too, but I'm gonna keep quiet because last time I was talking good about Sledgehammer Games, I got cooked and still do for it." Deservedly so, by the way, you're goddamn fucking right. I was farming harder than I ever had before during that launch. And whether or not he's being sarcastic with that last part, guys, are we really gonna sit here and pretend like people don't actually generate fake hype just so they can get the impressions flowing? And I know this is coming from the Scat Master and everybody thinks I hate for views, views. And look, to an extent, I do like trolling and pissing people off, especially when I know people are watching, but I think this with some of the other platforms is a little different because they know good and well, because they have information ahead of all of us, that there's likely some things about the next COD that most fans aren't gonna like. And yet here they are talking about, oh, I have faith in the next developers and the next game's gonna be good and everybody should just wait before forming an opinion. No, man, everybody knows the exact same formula. We've talked about the Call of Duty cycle here before as well. Except here's the difference as opposed to any other era in Call of Duty. I'm talking the Golden Era, the Jetpack Era, and then we finally have what we have nowadays, which is the Dark Ages of Call of Duty, as coined by the Scadmaster himself, by the way. And like I said, there's only so many times you can fail in a row before people finally start breaking off, which is why tweets like this where you're hyping up the next game can be so dangerous, because you know people are finally starting to think for themselves because they've been wronged 4 years in a fucking row, and on the 5th year, you have the audacity to start giving people false hope once again? No, absolutely the fuck not. And this is where the whole MW 2019 Part 3 will not save Call of Duty part comes in. People said this about Vanguard, for Christ's sakes. People said this about MW2. And granted, MW2 was announced with all of this fake hype like, oh, Call of Duty 2.0, 3,000 developers, 2-year life cycle, all this other shit. Guys, what does Modern Warfare 2019 Part 3 have that is actually compelling some people to be excited for it, or to think that it's going to save the franchise? Because honestly, all I've seen so far that is remotely kind of decent for this next title is the fact that there's most likely going to be original MW2 and 3 maps within it. And coming after a game like MW 2019 Part 2, I kind of just feel like we've all wasted our time this entire last life cycle waiting for MW2 maps to come in because it's titled fucking Modern Warfare 2, and instead it's being pushed into the next COD, which makes no sense whatsoever. So personally, I'm just confused about this. Look guys, I just think we know better by now. Like, we've gone through enough dog shit titles in a row, 4 in a row to be exact, for us to finally find out that, you know what, 5th time's not the goddamn charm, okay? It should have been the 1st time, should have been the 2nd time, maybe the 3rd time, but crossing into the 4th time and it's an L, no man. And going into the 5th one, you got me fucked up if you think I'm gonna be hyped up for it. Which again, before people get in the comments, I guess the new thing is, oh, but you're still gonna buy it, or you're still gonna play it fully. Look, I already made a video talking about how I'm not gonna buy the goddamn game. Now, if I somehow get it for free, that's something else. If I steal it, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Activision, you can come for the Scadmaster, I don't give a flying fuck what you do. What we need is some repurposing here in the Call of Duty community. People need to start thinking differently about Call of Duty, okay? Like, you've seen Activision do some absurdly disgusting, garbage, horrific shit in the last couple of weeks. But here's the thing, guys. Normally on the channel, I highlight some pretty dog shit tweets from a lot of gooch-licking platforms, but I think today we're feeling good, so I'd like to highlight a couple of tweets that, in my opinion, have actually restored my faith in humanity, because not only are these people spitting fucking facts, but they're actually calling people out for their crap that they do every single year. The first one that I want to put up is by J Boned Man. Now, if you guys haven't heard of this guy, you guys need to go check him out. I'm sure you guys would like him. He tweeted out yesterday saying, I guarantee everyone will forget about this XLABS and SM2 drama along with everything else Activision has done over the years when the new game drops, and everyone will go back to advertising bundles and fake hype. Scadmaster literally made a video about this before MW 2019 Part 2 came out. You get one smidge of a decent leak and people go nuts for it, completely disregarding all of the garbage that followed it. But I'm glad that people are calling out that people will forget that this crap happened, and as soon as the news starts coming out about the next Call of Duty, it's like we switch gears into gooch licking instead of having common sense and remembering the crap that Activision recently just did. Now, this other tweet comes after I saw Doug Dimmadome Warzone talk about SM2 and XLABS getting cease and desisted by Activision, and in good faith, I think it was actually a pretty decent tweet by Doug, but here's the tweet that comes out from Blame Truth that reminds me why I shouldn't really care what Charlie Intel or Doug Dimmadome Warzone think about Activision's terrible decisions. He tweets out, and none of this will matter in 3 months' time when you get flown out on a private jet to play and sing the praises of the next half-assed entry. And once again, Yes, exactly. I mean, I see other content creators like regular gameplay channels that are extremely upset about the cease and desist of XLABS and SM2, and you would think they're talking in good faith, but then the moment they get flown out to play the next game early, even if they tell us months and months and months later that, hey, during this playtest, I was telling them the feedback. I was telling them, hey, this doesn't look good. Hey, this is really, really bad. You know, months after the fact of fake hyping this shit up, after you know good and well that you didn't like it when you playtested it, just makes you a gooch-licking moron, because I've seen it plenty of times where these content creators come out here and say, oh, during the playtest, I told them I didn't like it. Okay, well, that's great, but when the leaks were coming out originally, you didn't mention any of that shit. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. Do you some way, somehow think the next Call of Duty title, MW 2019 Part 3, is going to save Call of Duty? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos, and yeah, guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Toodles. It's been a very